Hey everyone, welcome back to Dr. Pundit, where we talk about music, not medicine. I'm Michael Douglas, and on this edition I want to talk about Madonna, particularly her beginnings. I always thought that Madonna started out with her self-titled debut album, the hits Physical Attraction, Burning Up. Well, not the case. She was a punk rocker before she got into pop, specifically in the year 1979. And Madonna has had a long and impressive career in pop music, but she really didn't get her start in the genre until the 1980s. Now, before that, she was actually in a new wave punk band, which released a few rough demos before she ultimately left the group. Now, around 1979, Madonna was playing drums and singing with a New York punk band, Breakfast Club. The group was formed around Madonna, Angie Smith on bass, and brothers Dan and Ed Gilroy on guitar, with Dan providing vocals. And Madonna would later leave Breakfast Club to join the band Emmy and the Emmys, but not before she contributed a few tracks with the former band. Now, one that resurfaced recently is a track called Shit on the Ground. Now, as the title suggests, it's rough, it's gritty, celebrating the underground pop punk scene of the 1970s, the late 1970s in New York. And it differs greatly from Madonna's work in pop, which of course made her a household name. But there's something about the demo that feels quite refreshing to me, that kind of predates, hey, I can hear her sound in this song, and maybe she kind of culled some of those early methods to carve out her unique pop niche in the early 1980s. Madonna was also a dancer as well, kind of doing that dance pop thing. She ended up in Breakfast Club because apparently her dancing career wasn't going as well, and she was also dating one of the lead singers of the group Breakfast Club at the time, Dan Gilroy. And this guy gave her lessons, drum lessons, some vocal stylings, I suppose, when he formed the group, the Breakfast Club. And the band released a 4-song demo in 1979, which included the aforementioned on the Ground, as well as Shine a Light, Little Boy, and Love Express. And Madonna basically took the lead vocals on the demos, where her voice was experimental and raw. And she was clearly leaning to how to define herself and identity through her voice. That is so apparent in the clip that we'll play here. And it would continue to grow and mature, of course, by the time she did release her first self-titled debut in 1983. And at this time, though, she was still trying to figure things out, but she was doing a really good job of it. I'm kind of impressed by the way this demo sounds of this song.
I live at the top of the hill. No one keeps me against my will. I don't need no safe neighborhood. I got to feel good my own way, yeah. It's not like I don't have a choice. When you're alone, you make your own choice. If you were me, you could stay in here too. Building something to do your own way, yeah. No matter walk outside and there ain't no one around. And I'll never want to make a sound more than I do now.
Now, in 1981, after leaving Breakfast Club and Emmy and the Emmys, Madonna signed with Gotham Records. She hooked up with late producer Mark Kammons, and the shift to a solo career basically began and changed her priorities. She started making dancier tracks, leaning more toward pop, and of course the rest, as they say, is history. Now, the only other artist that I can think of at the top of my head as I'm recording this episode who basically went the other way was with Alanis Morissette in the mid-1990s, and her, of course, big debut, Jagged Little Pill. Alanis Morissette actually got her start with more dance before she segued into more of an alternative pop kind of presentation with her Jagged Little Pill foray. She's also Canadian and also worked in Canadian kids TV on the TV show You Can't Do That on Television as well, just a little side note. But Madonna was pretty much moving in the right direction. And then this famous clip of her on American Bandstand explains what her true objectives were at this time.
You're the least bit scared to do that? Not really. I think I've always had a lot of confidence in myself.
We are a couple of weeks into the new year. What do you hope will happen, not only in 1984, but for the rest of your professional life? What are your dreams? What's left?
To rule the world.
There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Madonna.
So Madonna dropped her self-titled debut, her breakout debut album, and from there it was just a matter of evolving into the artist she would always be remembered for, and one of the core defining artists of the decade of the 1980s. But she had her beginnings in a punk pop band in the late 1970s, New York City. Pretty interesting stuff, I guess. I did know about that, I just didn't know the particulars, and now I'm giving them to you. I'm Michael Douglas. If you like what you see on this channel, please don't hesitate to like and subscribe. And as the late, great Barry White always used to say, let the music play, and I'll see you on the next episode.